Hello everyone and welcome to ChangeCockpit Power User Edition of May 2025. We are still in the preview version or in pilot version of the Power User edition, and therefore if you would like to give us some feedback what we could change or what do you think should be better, please don't hesitate to contact us at rolf@changecockpit.ch. You will also see my email address at the end of this talk. So Power User Edition, the goal is you as power users know all the changes in Microsoft 365 that are or which are coming your way now. With now, I mean it's rolled out already. You probably already have this change in your environment, or it will reach you within the next around 3 weeks. The goal is to get to help you to get the most out of the tools and have more productive ways of using these tools in Microsoft 365. So for the agenda this month, we have 18 for Teams. Totally, we have 62 user changes. SharePoint Online, we have 5, Office with 4, Outlook with 7, and Copilot with 20. And then the Viva with 8. Sorry, there's a typo here on this slide. And last but not least, the outro. So you are watching a recording. Perhaps you also have the chapters available. If you are watching the recording on our stream platform, then you have the chapters and you can switch between what's interesting for you. So let's start with the first workload in here called Teams. We have as first changed meeting multi-language updates. This means if you have Copilot or Teams Premium license, you can set the language for yourself. If the organizer of this meeting turned on enable multi-language speak recognition, then you will be able to choose my spoken language and translate to. So if the others are speaking another language, you can translate the live transcription in your desired language. As well, you have the option to translate, or the recap, the AI meeting recap will be in your chosen language, or you can also choose another language when viewing the recap screen after the meeting finished. Then meeting options, you will get personal meeting templates if you often change the meeting settings. I'm talking about these meetings options where you can choose who can just go through the lobby or who can present, stuff like this. And you often change these from the defaults. Then you can now go and click on Save as Template. Saving it as template allows you to later choose it. If you create a new meeting from Teams calendar and you click on the drop down arrow, then you have your templates visible in there, or you just click on View All Templates and choose your Save templates. But for this to work, you need a Teams Premium license. Or you won't get the Save as Template option or your templates option in the new event button. Chat notifications will now behave differently depending on what your RSVP option was. So if you get a meeting invitation and you accept the meeting invitation, then meeting chat will be shown in Teams as before. But if you now decline this meeting, then this meeting chat will not be shown in your Teams meetings chat pane. And therefore you won't see anything from there, which makes perfect sense because you declined the meeting. If you choose tentative, then it will be shown as well. Then there is a new option or a new feature called real-time text in Teams meetings, but also in Teams calls. If someone enables turn on RTT for this call, you can find this in more and then language and speech and then turn on RTT. Then this RTT chat panel will be shown. First of all, it will ask you, hey, do you really want to turn it on? Because it will be turned for everyone in this call and you can't turn it off afterwards, except all of you end the call, exit the call and start the call again. The difference between the normal chat experience and RTT is you see every letter typed by the other people, by the other participants, instead of writing the whole sentence, pressing enter, and then sending this, and then you see the whole sentence at once. Now you will see what is being typed in real time. That's why it's called real-time text. Then we have a simplified notes pane. The meeting notes was called meeting notes. It's now only called notes, and it's the same icon in there. And or other words for this are collaborative meeting notes, because all of you can work on these meeting notes at the same time. It's collaborative. Technically, it's a loop component. And all these options in the top bar here were moved to the three-dot menu to make some more place, especially for the new meeting facilitator agent. So you can find it in there. Then we have the new calendar in Teams. It was already opt-in, so you should already have seen the question or the bubble. Hey, would you like to try the new calendar option? Perhaps you just dismissed it and didn't turn on the new calendar experience. This will change now. It will be turned on by default, but if you prefer the old calendar experience, you still can change or switch back. I think at some point in time, Microsoft will then remove the switch back option and only the new calendar experience or UI will be shown. The new experience is in my opinion, is way better because it's almost the same as in Outlook or new Outlook. Then we have the option to add a loop workspace to a Teams channel, but only to standard channel, not private or shared channels. So if you add a loop workspace, tap as to a regular or standard channel, and you create the workspace in there, then the special part is that all Teams members will have access. So everyone who has access into this team will also have access to this loop workspace. Normally, if you create a loop workspace from the loop app, if it's enabled in your environment, and you create this loop workspace, then you have to define who has access to this, but that's another new change. You can also choose a group there. In Teams, by default, it will adhere the group or the team membership. So everyone who has access to Teams also has access to this loop workspace. And it also inherits the sensitivity label if you are using sensitivity labels in Microsoft 365 groups or Teams. Then we have the loop components and labels announcement in Teams. Last month, I already announced that the label or sensitivity labels are available for collaborative meeting notes. The notes pane that was just renamed, as you have seen before. So you can add there also a sensitivity label. And because it's technically a loop component, now it's the official announcement that everywhere in Teams where you are using loop components, you can also choose to apply or change sensitivity labels. Then you will get the option, if IT turns it on, the report message or report security concern, because more and more phishing or external actors try to send phishing messages using Teams chat messages. And if you get such an external message in a one-on-one group chat or a Teams meeting chat, then you will get this new option, report message. So this will be reported to Teams Admin Center and your IT could see this in there. Another new UI or a UI change is the calls in a small window. So an incoming call is by default displayed in a large window, and now you can choose the small window option in Teams options settings or in Teams settings in calls, and then view incoming calls, and you can choose between large and small window. It's easier now to create new channels for Teams, or easier, or let's say there's another way to to create new channels, or Microsoft calls it create new channels faster, because they added it into the chat menu option. So you will get in there a new channel, because you don't you were in a team And inside these teams, you choose new channels. So the system already knows in which team you are and will add the channel to these teams. So now if you choose this option up here on top of chat window, then choose new channel, then you have to select a team, channel name, and the channel type for Teams to create this for you. Teams rooms, and we'll also get some update. Teams rooms, you can have Teams rooms as Teams rooms on Windows, but also in Teams rooms on Android. It's sometimes for us quite hard to distinguish, but I have to do this. So Teams rooms on Windows, you will get the option to join as attendee to Teams events. Events is the format of a webinar, Teams webinar, or a Teams town hall meeting. This is called events. And if, let's say, you have a town hall event, which can now have up to 100,000 people joining in there. If you want to attend a Teams town hall and you do this with some colleagues in a meeting room, then you can now join as participant from a Teams rooms device, or from your meeting room device in there. Teams rooms on Android gets now also speaker recognition. If you enrolled a voice profile in your environment, perhaps you already did this in team settings, then you could also choose the voice isolation instead of only noise reduction. So if a colleague of you speaks next to you while you are in a meeting, then Teams would only transfer your own voice because you have your voice profile enrolled in the service. So this voice profile can now also be applied as speaker recognition feature in Teams rooms. So Teams rooms knows, this John Doe is talking now in these rooms, and doesn't just show rooms A is talking. It tells then the users John Doe in rooms A is talking, and this will also be shown in Teams meeting transcripts. If you like to work with shortcuts, you can change shortcuts now in Teams. Just go to the three-dot menu, keyboard shortcuts, and then you can change these shortcuts, or at least have a look at what the default shortcuts are. So familiar keyboard shortcuts from other applications can now be applied in Teams, so we can use the same as you're used to perhaps in other tools. Town halls, team town halls will get a new meeting options called Who has control of production tools. That's important for town hall organizers. And this new production tools option will then allow you to configure and the permission for who can start event, who can configure control what attendees see. That's the slider settings, in which video feed will be shown, which shared content will be shown, and so on. And also who is able to end the event. And that's in the town halls option, control production tools, and then you can choose the audience in there. Town halls also got the feature already at the end of last year on Windows Desktop to have this digital video recording functionality. This means you can slide, or you can go through the presentation. During the live presentation, you can also choose to go 10 seconds back. So perhaps you didn't understand something correctly, you go back to 10 seconds and then watch again. So that's now also available for now on the mobile platform, meaning on Teams Town Hall on iOS and Android smartphones. Outlook Classic also gets an update called Teams for Teams Meetings update. So if you create a new Teams meeting with Teams Meeting add-in in the Classic Outlook, then it will suggest meeting options based on the meeting details. And this will be visible in the setup pane in the scheduling form. So in there somewhere it should show you what the new meeting options are, or you just go in there and check manually for meeting options with this button on top. And if you have several devices connected to your computer, which all have this Teams certified button, this Teams button, then you had to choose in Team settings which device wins, or which button on which device works for you. This changes now, so you can use all devices with a Teams button at the same time, and you don't no longer need to select it in the Teams settings. That's it for Teams. Then we have some changes for SharePoint Online and OneDrive for Business. The first one is called PDF compression. If you have a look, or if you are watching to PDF, in OneDrive or in a SharePoint document library, we'll get the option now compress your PDF. If you click on this, then you can choose for light, medium, or heavy compression. It won't compress text, doesn't make sense. It will compress the images inside the presentation and make the presentation smaller. For this to work, the original PDF must be smaller than 300 megabytes, and you can see the light compression reduces 25% of the pixels, 50 and 75% depending on the options you choose, and therefore the quality will be lower, but the file size will be smaller. Perhaps this is important to share, let's say by email or whatever. If you go to a document library, to the command bar in a OneDrive or in a SharePoint Online document library, to a Word document, Excel or PowerPoint, and click on the three-dot menu, we'll get a new option called Export as PDF. And this allows you to export this document directly to PDF, but sensitivity label settings will be honored, meaning if you don't have the permission to export this as PDF, then it won't work and this error message will be shown. And yes, you need to download permission and write permission to the library, because this PDF will be written directly next to the original document. Then you will get a new document library template in SharePoint Online. You can go there. By default, let's say you have a SharePoint Teams site, you have one default document library, and if you create another library, go to create new document library, you can choose either a blank library or choose some templates. And from these templates, you get a new option called Resume Repository. This one by default is AI enabled. If the SharePoint Online site is enabled for syntax pay as you go by your IT, then this will work automatically. And if you put it in here, these resumes, let's say these Word documents, then you have, and that's from the default, from the template, you will have all these rows or these from called recruiting stage degree and so on. So if you now put in this document in there, then this columns, sorry, not rows, these columns will be filled automatically from the content of the files. That's done by the Syntax AI service. If you don't have the syntax, or it's not enabled for this particular SharePoint Online site, then you can still fill in all these columns by yourself after reading the document. That's another possibility. So the whole library template is not as useless, at least. Then for the dashboard web part, dashboard is mainly used for Viva connections. Viva connections as, let's say, internet part or internet application within Teams will show at a SharePoint Online site called a home site, and therefore the dashboard web part could only be used inside such a home site. And now you can use this dashboard web part also in all other site types, so you can insert it wherever you prefer. Dashboard contains dashboard cards, so as an example, the assigned tasks or some news dashboards or learning cards, and it's personalized. So this means whoever goes to this SharePoint Online site will see other content inside this dashboard. And we will also get a new dashboard card this month, which will be announced later in the Viva part or in the Viva workload for the folder card. Then we have multicolor themes available now. By default, you will get 8 out-of-the-box site themes from Microsoft, but if you are using SharePoint Online Brand Center, you can also create your own multicolor themes and set it or enable it for your organization to use. Going to Office, we don't have typical Office application updates like for Word and PowerPoint this month, but we have, as an example, Cloud.Microsoft update for May. Cloud.Microsoft bought or published this new domain, top level domain. It's not Microsoft.com, it's .Microsoft. So Microsoft is now moving all of Microsoft 365 or Office 365 application into this new namespace .cloud.microsoft. We already see as an example, we see the Word in here, word.cloud.microsoft, and this opens Word Online. And almost every month they move other services in there, or it's in parallel. If you go to the old URL, you will get a redirection to the new .cloud.microsoft URL, and this month applies to forms.cloud.microsoft. So if you'd like to use Forms, just go directly to this URL. For Edge, we have some updates. Edge browser, the Edge sidebar will give you direct access to agents. If you added agents for you or IT pinned agents for you in the Microsoft 365 Copilot app, and now you go to the Edge sidebar, you will get this new menu option, agents, and then you see all your agents and can just start or use it directly from Edge. Edge will also get an updated work feed. This will no longer display content and activity from your network. If you create a new tab and the work feed is enabled, you will see the work feed now. If you recently used documents, recently used SharePoint at your today's events, upcoming events, you can directly join to this Teams meeting event from this new card in here or recent apps you used. So easier access to your events and documents right next from a new Edge work tab or work feed. If you're using Edge for Business, this is Edge for Business as soon as you are logged in with your Entra or Work ID. Then till now you had this icon and the company name on top left, and this was now moved to the toolbar on upper right corner, and if you click on the icon you have the same options, but it does just move, so really a minor change in here, and this starts from Edge version 136. Then we go to Outlook. This month we don't have anything for Classic Outlook. There are not many changes coming out even during the last month regarding Classic Outlook. We have mainly new Outlook changes and Outlook app changes. So Outlook app is the application on your smartphone on either Android or iOS. New Outlook will get a switchback update. So let's say try the new Outlook is enabled in your environment. Then you have the slider on in Outlook Classic on the upper right corner. Try the new Outlook. Perhaps you did it a year ago. And then you have seen, oh no, I can't work with that. I need to go back. That doesn't work. Many things are missing or whatever. And then you switched back and you never tried new Outlook again. That's the typical behavior what I have seen so far. So no worries. You can try it again. And if you still, Microsoft worked really hard to get it better during the last year. And if you still think, yeah, no, I'm not used to it, or I prefer the old one, you can run it, or Microsoft encourages you to run it in parallel. That's why you have now two options, which will be offered to you when you're when you're switched back to Outlook Classic. Option one, it just opens Classic Outlook, and Classic Outlook launches immediately, and the new Outlook stays open, and this is useful if you want to use both versions simultaneously at the same time. The option two you will get is switch back to Classic Outlook. Then Classic Outlook launches, but new Outlook won't be closed. By now, it will just be minimized to taskbar, and all notifications from new Outlook will be suppressed during this session, and Classic Outlook takes over. So Microsoft encourages you to have both versions open at the same time at least. So you try it, everything you can do in new Outlook, and if you can't find something in there, then just use then only for this task Classic Outlook. So you get used to the new Outlook. That's the idea behind this, I think. Then we have an optimized hover actions. Hovering over an email to get the flag or the pin icon or the trash icon will now move to the from row. or the from column, sender and from column. It depends. Sender, it's if you are in sent items, and from, it's if you are in your inbox. So if you hover there, then it's not on the right side anymore, these icons. It will be just in the from column. In New Outlook, you will be able to jump to a particular message just by typing in this new field in the upper right corner. This field behaves differently depending on the sort order on your current folder. So if you sort by date, it will jump to the date. If you sort by from field, it will jump to the sender. If you sort by category, it will jump to the category, and so on. Then switching from New Outlook to Outlook app, you will get copy and paste directly attachments option. Till now, if you would like to send an attachment you receive by email to someone else, either you click on forward would be one option. The other option is you save it temporarily on your device, then create a new email and attach it using the paperclip icon. Now you can just directly click on copy attachment, create a new message, and then go to paste, and this attachment will be pasted to your new email. Easier to do. Then we have the recurring events edit option also in Outlook app. I remember back, I think it was Ignite 2017, we had a session about Outlook on the web, and Microsoft introduced this edit this and following events for recurring events. And there was a big applause in this stadium. Oh, it was just great because they finally changed our really big pain point for recurring events. This was then introduced in Outlook on the web, but also in New Outlook, and this follows now into Outlook app. This means, let's say you want to move your recurring event for your team meeting starting next week. You go to the next week's recurrence and then click on edit and this and all following events, and it won't break all the old events. Perhaps you move them around or whatever. This would be done if you use edit all events in series, but you can now also choose edit this and following events, and then only change these events in the future. So great news that we can do this now also from our pocket, meaning from the mobile phone application. Also, if you work with folders in Outlook app, you will get now finally the options to modify your folders. You can create, delete, rename, and move folders directly from the Outlook application. Now, after at least having the sort order or follows the sort order from Outlook Desktop or New Outlook, that was last month's announcement, and now finally you can also change or create new folders from Outlook app. And then we have one retirement for New Outlook and Outlook on the web. That's called Sports Calendar. If you never heard about this, just forget this announcement. But if you are using Sports Calendar, first of all, you can't add any new Sports Calendar anymore, and your existing Sports Calendar won't update anymore if after this change has rolled out. After this retirement, your alternative is to subscribe from web. That's the option in here, subscribe from web, and then search for the ICS URL from your provider, add it in there, and then it will synchronize this ICS URL to your calendar. Then let's switch to Microsoft 365 Copilot changes. First of all, a small update regarding all out-of-the-box agents which were announced during the last months. The Skills agent will be generally available in June. The Interpreter agent, that's the live voice translation. So if you would listen to me now in the live version, and you have a Copilot license, you can start the Interpreter agent, and then I would be live translated to your preferred language, let's say to German. It works, let's say for preview, it's not that bad. We tried it out, but at least if give it some time, and this will be just a great feature. And it even can simulate, if it's enabled, it even will can then simulate my voice, or tries to simulate my voice in the destination language. So this rolled out to public preview. The Facilitator agent, that's the virtual assistant during meetings. The Facilitator agent creates AI-generated meeting notes and also will do moderation during the Teams meetings events. For this to work, you need to have the allow co-pilot options, the meeting options too, during and after the meeting, or this facilitator option will be grayed out. When it's not grayed out, you can just turn it on in the meeting options. If the organizer forgot to turn it on, no worries. You can go to the meeting, collaborative meeting notes section. Then you have some star icons in the top right corner. Just click in there. This should be done in the first 5 minutes to have full capabilities. And then facilitator agent will kick in and start to work. And the project manager agent will now also be rolled out. At the end of June till August for the last capability called status report for plans. The project manager is the AI agent built into planner plans. Then if you are working with the Copilot pane, the Copilot app in Teams meetings, so you click on the Copilot icon, you can ask questions about the meetings even during shared content or shared screens. And if you work in there, you can now also export these answers directly into Word. So you can share these meeting Copilot responses if they have more than 1,300 characters. Then you will get the button open in Word and it will transfer this answer into Word so you can continue to work in there. Or if it's a table, you will get the option open in Excel. But this export only works if this meeting policy allows copy and paste of responses, and also it will respect the sensitivity label. If you have a Teams Premium organizer, Teams Premium licensed organizer, they can also set sensitivity labels on the meeting like highly confidential, and then the exported Word document will inherit the sensitivity label. If you are using prompts in Copilot Chat regularly, you will get now the schedule this prompt feature. So let's say you are prompting for what's on my calendar tomorrow morning, and you do this every evening, then just schedule this prompt and it will be done for you without having you to do it manually. And if you, let's say one scenario could be you accidentally malformed or mistyped you while entering the prompt, and Copilot already started the work, you had no option to stop Copilot. You just had to wait until it finished. Now you will get the stop generating button. You can cancel the current process and restart it with the right prompt. And if you're using this Copilot Chat to answer questions based on your work document, so the Work tab, graph grounded chat, this is now also able to handle content from OneNote, and it will also show the respective OneNote notebook and page from in the sources. If another one for Copilot Chat, it's the code interpreter. You can do advanced data analysis with this code interpreter. Just enter this complex, let's say, evaluate the counter integral formula, and then it will start to work to create Python code for you and also run this Python code and show the output in Copilot Chat. Then if you are working with agents, it's quite no, it's not for agents. I'm sorry for this one. It's just for the prompts. If you're working with prompts, gallery apps, you can also save your prompts. If you find, oh, yes, that's a great prompt, you can save it. This feature should already have been rolled out to you. And then you will find it in the prompt gallery again, or you just find some other general templates in the prompt gallery app. Either go to the prompt gallery app directly, or if you are in Copilot Chat, then you have the prompt gallery app button on the lower right corner of the respective chat window. Even your organization during Copilot option is able to publish organizational prompts, publish prompts to you, and you can choose this from the prompt gallery app. That's one new feature in here, and it will be redesigned and have a fresh look for you. That's the other change which will be rolled out here. Inside OneDrive, you will get the option to ask questions on meetings. You could also go to meeting recap page. That would be one option. The other option is to just go to the meetings, browse by meetings in your OneDrive web client. and then choose to ask Copilot some stuff. So let's have a look at this. We will go to meetings, click on this meeting, ask Copilot prompt, ask Copilot again, and then Copilot will open on the right side, and I can ask Copilot something about this particular meeting, and it will answer to me. So I can do this right next inside OneDrive. So if you're using OneDrive Web more often, then this is a great new feature. Copilot pages were rolled out, I think, at the end of last year. If you have a Copilot chat and you think, oh, that's a great starting point for my new document, you can then go and save it as or export it as Copilot page. This Copilot page is technically it's a loop component, and you can share this Copilot page with other users to work together on this. If you don't like it the way it is now, the next step you can do, and that's the change here, you can export it directly into Word and start for your further processing of this content in Word if you prefer Word instead of Copilot pages. Then you will get audio overviews. That's another OneDrive feature, or also SharePoint Online features. If you have a Word document, PDF file, or Teams meeting recording stored in your OneDrive, then just click on the Copilot button, generate an audio overview, then a floating player will start and will then play the audio overview to you. You can even switch to a podcast style, and then two virtual AI persons will talk to each other about the content of this particular file to make it more easier to listen to, perhaps, or whatever style you prefer. This can be used, let's say you have a complex document and you are on your way to work, you just can now listen using the generate an audio overview to your document. Then you have the standard is the summary style. It's one person, it's professional, and it's the brief style, and you can choose then to podcast style with longer and two people and casual styles as well. So you have different options to listen to. Call transfers will now get notes or summary options if you have a Copilot license, and if you are transferring calls often, that's quite a great change. Let's have a look at the flow in Android. It's the same for Teams desktop. Teams Android, we will get a call to Teams using PSTN, so real phone, not only Teams to Teams. And I will now transfer these calls. First, I click on generate a call summary for recipient, and then I click on transfer now, and I already see the call summary. So the transferee will get now the transferred call and can have a look at the call summary, and they are informed and know what you were already talking about and what you already discussed before you transferred the call. So great addition to calling experiences within Teams, in addition to Copilot. Another one for sharing files from SharePoint or OneDrive. You already had the option to share a summary with your file. So let's say you share this impact document in here, you'll get the button insert file summary with Copilot. Clicking on this will add a summary to the message box, and then just share it to, let's say, Irfan in this case, or in this example, the summary will be attached in here. You click on send, and the recipient, the Irfan in this case, will see already what's in the document or what this document is about before opening it. This will now be extended to more file types, to PowerPoint, Excel, PDF, and images text file. And it's available in OneDrive Web and SharePoint Online Document Library, as well in Microsoft 365 File Previewer, and it even supports protected files. Within Word, you had since 25 years or so, you have the spell checker options, but that's quite static. It was okay, but it's quite static. Now you can also use LLM, so you can use AI to do the spell checking, but also the grammar checking. When selecting text in Word, click on the Copilot icon and then fix spelling and grammar, and it will use AI to check your text instead of the static static checking feature built into Word. PowerPoint will get some additions regarding Copilot. First of all, create a slide from a file or using a prompt. So you have more entry options like new slide with Copilot. That's one. The other entry options just use create or add a slide using the Copilot button. Afterwards, either enter the prompt and or add files, reference files to use for this particular slide. Also, when creating new presentations using Copilot and you have an Oracle library, your company admins shared templates, your company templates to you within using an Oracle library within PowerPoint, then you can now choose during the process to which template you would like to use, and the Copilot generated presentation will then be in the template from your company. As mentioned, for this to work, a organization asset library must be configured by your admins. And till now, you could reference Word document files when creating a slide or a presentation. Now, the addition will be you can also create or reference PDF files as input or use text file as input for the presentation or slide. Copilot pages will get another update. You will get a new icon and it will change where it opens. If you click on a Copilot page link till now, because it's a Loop component, opens in the Loop app, Loop web app in browser. And afterwards, this will change to m365.cloud.microsoft. That's a Copilot app because Microsoft wants to have everything that's Copilot together in the Copilot app. And that's why it will be opened in the Copilot app after this change has rolled out. Then for agent stores, you will get enhanced agent discoveries. First of all, it changes slightly. At the moment you click on Get Agents on the right pane in Teams as an example, and afterwards you click on All Agents and you will get a new agent discovery experience. It will be on the left navigation pane in Copilot app and on the right navigation pane, almost at the same place where it's now in Teams. But also your unlicensed users will see all agents. The idea behind this is either they request afterwards a Copilot license or your IT turns on Copilot agents pay as you go support, and then unlicensed users can use agents, but it will be consumption billed. So only when they use it, it will cost something. Then we have some quite a special update here. Copilot Plus PCs will get more AI features. Copilot Plus PCs are PCs containing an NPU neural processing unit, and they were announced around 1 year ago. You can see if you have a Copilot Plus PC already, if you have the dedicated Copilot button on your keyboard. If so, then you will get improved Windows search, describe the search in a natural language, or live caption with real-time translation for audio, video meetings, and podcasts. That's quite special because it's not only in Teams, it's wherever you listen to a podcast, audio or video can use live captions and live translation within Windows. You will get the AI-powered creative tools with the April updates, like Co-Creator in Paint, Restyle Image Creator. And we'll get Windows Studio effects like background blur natively for the camera, voice focus, and a contact correction. So it should correct either you are watching into the other person's eyes when having a video call or you're watching into the camera. You have to choose. Till now, this should by AI change your eyes so it looks for the other person like you are looking at them directly. And for the European Union later in 2025, because of some data protection, they have to still work on this, is the recall feature and click to do in preview. Then we also have a retirement for Copilot related, and that's the code snippets in chats and channels will be retired. So if you are using code snippets, you can't add any code snippets anymore, but the existing snippets still remain accessible. Then going to the new to Viva, the Viva workload about news in there. First of all, Viva Connections, as as announced earlier a bit, we have the new folder card in Viva Connections dashboard. With Viva Connections dashboard folder card, you can reference or add a document library from SharePoint Online directly for quick access. As you can see in here, if the user prefers to open it in SharePoint, there's still a button down there. For Viva Engage, you will have a centralized admin role. If you are a Viva Engage admin and you used to use Yammer Classic Admin Center for this, then this will be now simplified, and it eliminates the need to access these legacy Yammer experiences, because this will be migrated all over into the Engage app. We will see other changes regarding this. Then if you're using Viva Engage or the selfie video recording for conversations, this will be removed from Viva Engage. And if you would like to still add your recordings, then you would need to use iOS or Android mobile apps for this, wherever they remove it. And you will have a new updated email subscription management. That's the same. It will also be moved from Yammer Classic to the Engage admin to a new modern experiences, no more legacy web pages. So if you click on, as an example, to unsubscribe from this person's storyline emails, then it will open this new experience in Viva Engage web app. That's the modern look. For Viva Pulse, for Pulse service for Teams, this will get now a delegation feature. So the one who sends out the pulses, Viva Pulse service, can now add delegators or delegatees. Up to 5 delegates are possible, and these can then create pulses in the name of the delegator, view post, pulse reports, send pulses, and so on. Another one for Pulse, if you are Pulse admin or global admin, or if you would like to change this footnote note from your organization, or it's also called internal usage guidelines, this can now be done directly in the Viva Pulse admin center. And one retirement for Viva Engage. That's the conversation starters. They are these cards in here in Viva Engage will be removed now, and because almost never be used. So outro means feedback, as mentioned before, is always welcome. We are in the preview and the pilot phase of this Power User Edition. So if you would like to help us, just send an email or Teams chat message to rolf@changecockpit.ch. And then if you reached, or if you are still watching, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something regarding your changes or regarding news. I hope it makes you a bit more productive or a bit more fun in your everyday life using Microsoft 365 tools. And see you next month. Thanks and goodbye.